Welcome back to Hanging with the Homeless. I have two more homeless vets with me. They're really no longer homeless. They're now getting their disability. I have Walt and Dwayne here with me. Walt has been with us for quite a while. As you just heard from the last segment, how much he's helped and actually helped turn the shelter over there now into more of a family than, you know, how we started out or what the problems we've been through. And I credit Walt with a lot of that. Before for his medical problems, I was actually looking at him to do a few more other things, but I think he's ready for his resting years. Walt, what do you think is the biggest problem that faces vets or homeless vets?
Well, the way I see it, you know, we've got a lot of vets out there, you know, for one reason or the other. You know, some of them were very successful and they wound up in the woods. We're trying to get these vets back into the system. And it's very hard because they become accustomed, you know, to their lifestyle, and we're trying to pull them out of there and offer them resources and, you know, that they don't have in the woods, and feed them and just get them back, and hopefully we can get them into the shelter.
I thought it was cool as you as a homeless vet donated a van out of your own pocket to help other vets.
Well, you know,
that's the kind of help we've been looking for a long time, and it came from actually a homeless vet.
Well, I was so glad to do that. I mean, it really felt good. The people at the shelter have just been wonderful. I mean, it is a home now. Like Jim said in the beginning, we've gone through some rough times, but you know, everybody's pulled together, and it is a home. I'm getting too comfortable there.
It goes back to the old thing they say, live and learn.
Yes.
And recreate the wheel. If it's, you know, we keep working to change things for the better, but I mean, we started this thing out not knowing a thing about a veteran shelter. So we kind of winged it the whole way along, but it's now working because we don't give up.
Well, my compliments to you, because, and my gratitude also.
And my compliments are to you guys. You guys have been running the shelter. You've been helping out people there. You've been driving around to appointments. You've been doing wonderful things that have been helping. My credit goes to you guys.
Well,
I think you're doing an awesome job.
I appreciate that, and I will continue, even after I leave the shelter, you know, to help there.
I heard about the idea about the vet brochure and all that, and I think it's a good idea.
Yes.
What was your job before you became all this?
I was marketing director for the Tampa Tribune for about 35 years, and we got rifted and with the Tribune. Went to work at Sumter County Times for a year, and then they hired me back as a director in Morgantown, North Carolina, and I stood about another 7 years there. And I mean, I loved the company, you know. And there I retired.
Did you ever think you would become where you needed help?
No, that's, you know, that it just hit me. I was very successful. And while I was working at the Tribune, I also had a travel company that probably made $1.5 million a year. And to see yourself go from that level of living and then wind up in the streets, you know.
Everybody thinks the homeless vets are always, you know, that they weren't successful or they just went to the woods. They don't realize that you have lost a lot due to economy and due to other reasons. They don't realize that. And that's a big thing that people need to realize about homeless vets. There's always a reason, and it doesn't matter how successful you are. I've seen people with $105,000, $120,000 a year jobs become homeless.
Yes.
And as people watched, seeing the news the other day that they're laying off, you know, the military down Central Command is laying off 1,100 people. They're all making good salaries. Now, boom.
Yeah.
I mean, the economy is taking no prisoners.
Yeah, that's the truth. What do you got to say there, Dwayne?
Dwayne, what do you think is the biggest problem facing homeless vets? It took you a long time to get your disability, I know that.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them, they have problems, you know, where their thinking's like post-traumatic stress disorder and stuff like that. And their thinking is they want to get away from people, you know.
Yeah.
And they like being by themselves. And to get them into the system wherever they can get some help and straighten that out, you know.
And that's
No.
been not an easy job someplace,
Yeah, you
sometimes.
can't tell them there's something wrong with them, you know, because they're like, they have issues, you know. And they functioned at one time, but then they come back, they get into society, and like they were in positions where they had a lot of stress and stuff like that. And then when they get around stress, when they're out, they just get away from it, you know. And they're out there on their own
I
by
agree.
choice, and trying to get them into a place where they can get some help, where they aren't going to be stressed.
You know,
that's a job and a half.
That's
you
a
know?
very good point, because there are so many
That's the
resources
best point I
now.
heard brought up.
It's you know, we're getting the resources when you go to the shelter, and the county now seems to be cooperating with us, and you know, the government offices, and we're able to get some resources that we couldn't have when we first got there, and I think that's great, you know.
We're getting ready to wrap up the show. We'll have you back if you want to come back again to help the other vets. We're running out of time, but very proud of you too.
Thank you so much.
I mean, I know I don't get to get around now that there's 5 shelters, and I'm like a raving lunatic some days with chicken and his head cut off, but I'm very proud of what you guys have been doing there, because you stuck through it all, thick and thin.
Well, I want to
And
thank
you got your disabilities, and very proud of you.
I want to thank
And
you.
Dwayne, you brought up the best point that I've ever, you know, that you actually, you taught me something this morning. You actually brought up a very good point, and it's something we need to address further is, you know, you put them in stressful, and that's what happens to a lot of our directors, is you put them in a stressful situation, and they break because, you know, but we're trying to help others, and with our budget, I'm thankful for what everybody does. I mean, Dwayne gives everybody haircuts. He's a barber by profession. Walt's been helping out everybody to bring together as a family over there. I mean, these guys have actually become a family, which is what I want the shelters to be, and they've done it much on their own. Because I cannot travel through the county every day, all day, because we have shelters from Floral City to Hernando. And we're looking at opening up a couple more outposts like the John Wayne days. That's the reason for it. 7th Cavalry, you're middle of nowhere, you put it out an outpost for feed, water, and help them. We're going to be doing a lot more of that in the future. We thank you for being with our show. We hope you tune in Sunday at 10 o'clock and Friday nights at 9. We do appreciate all the calls and the help that's been coming in. God bless, and we thank you for all you've done for the veterans.